In a quiet town in Korea, a blind father walked his child to school every single day. For 10 years, he couldn't see the world, but he gave his child the world. This is not a story about sight. This is a story about love, about resilience, about what it truly means to be there. A story that reminds us sometimes those who see the least feel the most. In a world often defined by appearances and abilities, there exists a story that quietly defies all expectations. It is the story of a blind father who walked his child to school every single day for 10 years, through sunshine, through rain, through every season of life. Though he could not see the path ahead, his heart could feel every step, every breath, every hope he held for his child. Each morning, while others hurried past, this father held his child's hand and began a journey of love, one that needed no vision to be seen clearly. He did not need eyes to notice when his child was nervous or sad. He could sense it in their silence, in the way their hand tensed in his. And in response, he would squeeze their hand just a little tighter, offering a quiet message. I'm here. You're safe. This is not just a story about walking to school. It is a story about presence, about how showing up day after day is one of the greatest acts of love a parent can give. Every morning begins the same. While the world still sleeps, the father quietly rises from his thin mat on the floor. He cannot see the sun rise, but he feels it in the warmth brushing his face. He listens for the soft sounds of birds outside, a signal that it's time. Carefully, he folds his white cane. His fingers move with practiced grace, like someone who has done this hundreds of times before. He smooths his child's hair gently, waking them with a whisper. It's time for school, my love. There is no rush, no chaos, only patience and the rhythm of a life built on love. As they prepare, he double-checks the lunchbox, straightens the backpack, and runs his hands along the edge of the shoes to make sure they're tied just right. Then he waits by the door, not because he is lost, but because he knows his child is his eyes, and he their heart. When the child takes his hand, their day begins. Step by step, through routine and love, they walk together into the morning. Some days the skies are clear and the air is crisp. Other days the wind howls and the rain falls hard. But no matter the weather, the father never misses a day. With one hand on his cane and the other gently holding his child, they step outside, into the cold, the heat, or the pouring rain. Neighbors often peek from behind their windows, astonished by the man who walks blindly, steadily, through storms and sunshine alike. Sometimes they offer a nod of respect. Sometimes they simply watch in silence, touched by a love so unwavering. The child, always in step beside him, never complains, never hesitates, because they know this walk is not about convenience. It is about love. It is about presence. Shoes get wet, clothes cling to skin, but their spirits remain warm. For every drop of rain is a reminder that real love does not take days off. And for 10 years, through every season, the blind father's footsteps have never stopped. As they walk through the neighborhood, the father listens carefully to the world around him. But most of all, he listens to the small voice beside him. Step here, Appa. There's a puddle ahead. Careful, the curb is high. That little voice guides him more surely than sight ever could. It is soft but confident, young but wise. The child doesn't seem burdened. In fact, they walk proudly, as if guiding their father is the most natural thing in the world. Passers-by often turn to look. Some feel pity, some feel awe, but what they don't see is the bond. A love so deep, it moves in silence and sound alike. The father doesn't just rely on his child. He trusts them. He believes in them. And the child, despite their young age, carries that trust like a badge of honor. They are not just father and child. They are a team, two hearts walking as one. One leading with voice, the other with love. And every morning, that little voice continues to light the way, not just to school, but through life. He never says much on their walks, not because he has nothing to say, but because his heart is full of things too deep for words. As he listens to his child guide him, he often wonders what kind of life he has given them. A life where a child must be strong so early. A life where they hold his hand, but carry so much more. Sometimes, he wishes he could see their face, their smile, the way their eyes light up when they talk about school. He imagines it instead. Every detail, painted by love and memory. He remembers when they were a baby, how he held them close and promised, "I will never let the darkness in me become a burden to you." He has kept that promise, not with sight, but with presence, not with riches, but with time, with listening, with love. He walks every step with quiet strength, carrying unseen worries, unspoken pride, and every day, as the child leads him to school, he silently gives thanks for this child, for this life, for the chance to walk beside them, even in darkness. Every morning, as they near the school gate, the child's steps begin to slow. Maybe it's nervousness. Maybe it's the weight of a new day ahead. The father senses it, even without seeing. So he leans down slightly and whispers, "You're going to do great today." The child looks up. There's no need to reply. The words are enough. Simple, gentle, but powerful. "You're smart. You're kind. You're braver than you think." These are the words the father repeats each morning, like a quiet ritual, a shield of love before the child steps into the world. Though the father cannot see the school, he knows it can be a hard place. He knows children face pressure, fear, loneliness. And so, he sends his child in with courage, not loud or flashy, but quiet and steady. He waits until the child disappears through the gates, then turns and walks home alone, step by step, guided only by memory and heart. But before he leaves, he always says it one more time, so soft only the wind can hear. "I'm proud of you," always. As the years passed, the child began to change. No longer just a small hand holding his father's. He had grown taller, stronger, and more aware of the world around him. He started to notice things he hadn't before. The way his father tilted his head when listening for cars. The quiet sighs he let out when they reached a hill. The slight stumble he made when the pavement was uneven. And yet, every morning, his father was there, always there, rain or shine, never a complaint, never a question, The boy began to ask himself, what was it like to live in darkness? What was it like to walk the same road, not knowing what lay ahead? What strength did it take to do it over and over again, just for your child? He looked at the other students. Some came in cars. Some were dropped off in a rush, barely saying goodbye. But him, he had a man who gave everything. One morning, as they stood outside the school gate, the boy stopped. He turned to his father, his voice shaky but clear, and said, "Dad, I know you can't see me, but I see you. I see all that you do. Thank you for walking with me." The father's lips trembled into a soft smile. His blind eyes shimmered with pride. He whispered, "I may not see the world, but I see you, and that's enough." Then one winter, life took a cruel turn. The factory where the father worked, the only source of their income, shut down overnight. No warning, no severance, just silence. For days the house felt colder, not just from the icy wind that slipped through the cracks of their thin walls, but from the heavy quiet that came from worry neither of them could voice. The child could see it. His father sitting longer at the kitchen table, fingers tracing old calluses, lips pressed tightly as if holding back fear. They still walked to school, but the father's shoulders seemed heavier, his pace slower, and for the first time, the child saw something that shook him, a tear quietly sliding down his father's cheek as they walked through the snow. But he didn't stop. He didn't let go. He just held his son's hand tighter. One night, as the child pretended to sleep, he heard his father whisper, "God, just let me keep walking. Let me walk with him as long as I can." That night, the boy cried silently under the blanket, not out of fear, but out of a love so deep, so raw, he didn't know how to carry it. The next morning, he held his father's hand first, and this time, he led the way. For 10 years, he walked his child to school, step by step, season after season. Even though he was blind, he never stumbled in his purpose. He memorized every crack on the road, every turn, every sound that marked the way. He didn't need sight to be a father. He only needed love. While others rushed, he walked with presence. He couldn't see his child's face, but he knew when they were smiling. He could hear it in their voice. On graduation day, students threw their hats in the air. Families cheered, cameras clicked, but he simply stood still, facing the sound with quiet pride. His child came running and wrapped their arms around him. "Appa," they whispered through tears. "I got into university. I did it." He didn't answer at first. He was holding back tears. Then softly he said, "No, we did it." That day the world finally saw what he had known all along, that love, when given fully, can guide someone farther than sight ever could.